This computer. Sweet. Um, Groovy. I'm gonna start letting people in. I see one so far, and there was Josiah who's gonna pop in as well. Let's got Antonio popping in, Josiah, Miriam, Gore. What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday. Gore,
Happy
good
hump
to
day.
see you. Let's get some squad in here. We got Josiah, good to see you, man. Antonio, Miriam,
Hey.
good to connect. I know most of you. Miriam, I don't believe we met yet. Have we connected yet?
No, probably within the last 24 hours.
Okay, nice. How did you hear about the school? Just organically?
From another community that I'm in that somehow directed me to this link. I don't know. There's so many links being thrown at me.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like Josiah is the definition of committed, showing up like in a bus or something. This man is ready to make more sales. Like
love
he
it.
is here every week, no matter what, and I respect the hustle. Well, guys, today I
Thanks.
brought in one of my best friends, and we were business partners previously, Andrew Kroeze, and he's over there in Cabo San Lucas. This man has won multiple two Comma Club awards. He had a successful exit of his past coaching business, took a whole year off to travel the world and really go on a deep dive with spirituality. And dude's an absolute living legend. He completely changed my career in terms of DM sales, sales ability, network. I've invested in tons of his different programs personally. Anytime he has an opportunity for me to hand him cash, I do because I end up making more. So thanks for that, dude. Like literally, I've just been blind with my credit card with this guy since 2021 because every time I've done it, good things have happened. And yeah, Andrew, I'll let you intro yourself to the community a little more as well, but I wanted to hype you up for sure, dude.
Cool. Thanks so much for inviting me in. And that was super sweet intro. Thank you so much, man. Gore, good to see you, dude. And Miriam and Josiah, good to get connected with you guys. And Antonio, who's in the chat. I can't see your face. What the? I'm kidding.
Dude, Antonio's
There
a
we go.
legend.
Dude, look at that beard. Of course he is.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, guys, to give you a little bit more background, I've been in the online space for 7 years now. I've made over $10 million online through agency and through coaching, exited in one business. And the vast majority of that has been DM sales. So I've ran DM setter teams, upwards of 6 people on the team. And I've self-generated millions of dollars through the DMs. It's one of my favorite things. And probably because I got 5 girlfriends in seventh grade from AIM, so I've just loved DM sales since then. That's probably it. And I'm here to provide as much value as possible to you guys when it comes to general sales, DM sales, and any type of DM frameworks. So I'd love to get from you guys. So Miriam, Josiah, Antonio, what do you guys do and what do you sell? You can hop off mute and or put it in the chat.
Hey guys, I'm Antonio. I'm currently in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, with one of my best friends. I'm on his offer, and we run an AI marketing agency.
Perfect. AI is
Cool.
crushing right now. Catch a trend. So good. Cool. Miriam, what about you?
Cool. Yeah, I'm in Vancouver, BC, and I have been selling like hard ticket offers in the DMs in the beauty industry certification industry. But I'm currently comparing new offers, and that's kind of how I landed up in Mason's community from Dylan Vergara from the serial sales community.
Sick. Mason's a sales savage on the phones and everything like that. So great place to be.
Love it.
Josiah, what about you, man?
Yeah, so I am currently working as like a sales process manager for a metabolic fitness coaching company.
Cool.
And then I'm interviewing with some other like more sales, like outbound closing oriented positions as well currently. So yeah, pretty excited about that, but yeah, it's going good.
Sick. Awesome. Love it, dude. And Gore, I don't want to skip you. Gore and I are connected. So feel free to share Gore with everybody else.
For sure. I do relationship and dating coaching in the high ticket space and work with the company. Uh, yeah.
Sick. So good. And I see HM and James. Good to see you guys. Share in the chat or hop off mute what you guys do so I can customize this a little bit.
Yeah, I see Heather, James. Good to have you guys in. Heather's one of my clients. She does gut health coaching, so might be on the
Sick.
road. And then James, what do you sell?
Hello.
What's up, James? What do you do?
Uh,
What do you
I work
sell?
with adult training and education centers and helping them reactivate past students and to get the leaks stopped in their lead process flow.
Sick. Love it. So we're all selling something here. So that is great. You're in the right spot. I promise you, you stay with me the whole time, you will increase your sales, no questions asked. I'm gonna add in some things here that you can do immediately today to drive more book calls and more sales and maybe some more sales directly through the DMs. Does that sound good to you guys?
Let's do it.
Cool. Promise keep the energy high with me.
Yeah, boy.
Sick. Okay,
Drop a
cool.
drop a juice box in the chat if you guys are juiced on making more money on DMs.
Get that juice.
We're here to
What's up,
juice it up.
Swap?
If there's
Swap, what do you sell, man?
Oh, I'm not on an offer right now, so I'm actively looking. So I just attended the session to learn more about the sales thing and all.
perfect.
Six. So you're selling yourself right now. That's perfect.
It never
Yeah,
ends.
yeah.
Cool. Sweet. And we got David Moore, a homie. David's one of the clients too. But David, feel free to share what you sell and what you do as well.
I basically help successful people avoid a nervous breakdown. In a nutshell, I help people regulate their nervous system using breath work and heart rate variability.
How perfect is that? I'm going straight into that and more into the self because it always starts with self. And I know salespeople love to get into a flow state with their sales calls. So you guys down to do that first?
Let's do it.
Cool. So the shortest pencil retains more than longest memory. So write this stuff down, retain it. And I'm a big proponent of frameworks, not hard work. So you can do frameworks and hard work, but the more frameworks you know, the more you can break the mold. Because a lot of times it's not about a script, as you guys know in sales, it's more about the frame that you come from, right? You with me? Um, the first one is we need to shift and change people's state. We need to get somebody into a buyer's what? A buyer's state, right? So, what is a buyer's state? How I define it is it's the distance between the cortisol, the challenges, the pain, and the dopamine, the vision, the what they see in the future. The bigger you have that gap and the bigger the emotion is, the more they're in a buyer's state, right? So it all comes down to biochemistry and hormones. Easy framework to think through for yourself and through prospects in the DMs, in your marketing, in sales calls, that sort of stuff. If you implement this, this will totally change how you communicate with people. Just write down dose, DOSE. So, what do I mean by that? So, we can alter and change people's states through eliciting different hormones. And what is the easiest way to change somebody's direction in their mind and what they're focused on? What is it? It's questions. That's why we have such a long discovery section inside of sales calls. We are changing somebody's their attention by asking questions, right? We want to figure out where somebody's at, where they want to go, what's getting in the way. Oh, you're going to get here. What will that do for you? What will that do for your families? Oh, so you've been here. How long have you been here? Oh, what's the pain behind that, right? We're creating a cortisol, a stress state, and then we're creating a dopamine state. And distance between those two becomes the buyer state. So let's break these down one by one. Number one, dopamine. What does dopamine do? Motivation and focus. So next to dopamine, just write down motivation and focus. You want somebody to be more motivated, more focused, elicit more dopamine, right? So in a marketing context, in a DM sales context, to elicit more dopamine, sharing testimonials, sharing results, sharing what the promise of the actual program or service is, where they can actually go right? And painting that vision, that picture for them. If you're in a DM conversation, hey, you remind me a lot of Jess Lenoble. She was a real estate agent coach too, and she was able to go from 10K to over 8 figures over 4 years through and check out this testimonial, right? Releasing some more dopamine of what is possible.
You
Um,
said what and focus? I'm sorry.
hmm?
What you said
Focus
what
and
and focus?
motivation to actually take the action, right? So in a sales call context, oh, where do you want to go in the next 3, 12 months? Cool. It's more logistical. What will that actually do for you? Like chunk down deeper into that, elicit that emotion and pop up those pictures in their head so they can attach to that emotion of more motivation and focus, take action, right? So does that make sense for dopamine on an external context sales basis? Yeah, cool. Yeah, you with me? There we go. Um, so personally, if we want to have more dopamine, more motivation, more focus, dopamine is interesting. We have a set dopamine baseline. If we're getting a lot of cheap dopamine hits through Netflix, through scrolling social media, any of those things, then our dopamine baseline is going to be higher. We're going to have less motivation and focus. A lot of entrepreneurs think they have ADHD. They don't actually have ADHD. They have a really high dopamine baseline. Trust me, because like I used to be that way. I spent a month with monks at Deer Park Monastery and dropped that dopamine baseline. And right after that, I had the most motivation and focus I ever had in the world. Easy way to reset our dopamine baseline and chip away at it is just meditation. I meditate for at least 10 minutes per day every single morning after I do my breath work. And that allows me to go internal and spending all the day external. And that will help with the dopamine baseline. Also, if we want more motivation and focus, you've always heard about setting those scary goals, scary vision. And if we have a big vision for our life, then and we reflect on it, the more we release dopamine naturally in our system, the more motivation and focus we have, right? Does that make sense? Dopamine. Sweet. Cool. Then number two, oxytocin. What does oxytocin do? It's the connection love chemical, right? So to elicit more connection with another person, it's through stories of empathy, right? So we can ask a prospect, oh, how long has that been going on? What is that doing in your life? They're sharing stories of empathy, right? And that's creating oxytocin, a connection and a bond, right? In our marketing, we can share our origin stories. Oh, I was here and then I got here. Here are the lessons I learned from this. Because whenever we're sharing stories of hardship, and you can see a lot of them on my Instagram page, people form a connection with you, right? It's because oxytocin is being released in their system, right? So we can do that in sales context. We can do that in marketing context. We need all of these hormones going. So then internally, how do we release it? Easiest way, gratitude. If you don't have a gratitude practice, just every single day, either think about it when you wake up, when you go to bed, write these things down. When we're thinking about gratitude, what we're grateful for in the moment, life isn't happening to us, it's happening for us. And we release a lot of oxytocin in our system. We feel more connected to ourselves and everybody around us, right? Make sense? Helpful? Cool. Um, so serotonin is the more of the peace chemical. When we're proud in what we do, we feel more peaceful. So in we can share stories of what we're proud of. Like I'll share a story of like I made $1.1 million at Tribe Buyers Live at a 200 person event, and I have a whole up and down story around that, and that's one thing that I'm really proud of. Sometimes prospects need a little bit more confidence and a little bit more peace and trust themselves a little bit more. So asking questions just of like, what are you most proud of over the past 30 days or something like that? Um, and the easiest way to release serotonin within ourselves is through breath work. I have the Sanskrit sign for breath on here. If we want to feel more peaceful, just breathe. There are different types of breath work. I have a whole Notion document. If you want me to share the Notion document of how you can alchemize your emotions, reduce your cortisol, and increase serotonin, just drop it in the chat and I'll send it over to you. Implement a breath work practice on a daily basis, right? So cool. We got serotonin. Lastly, endorphins. So, how do we release endorphins and what does it do? It allows us to feel more social, right? So, in a sales context, little bits of humor here and there can allow somebody to open up so much more and be a little bit more social. Um, for example, crap, what's his name from Sales Sniper?
Marco?
Matt Ryder.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, so I paid him like 50K to build out our sales systems back in the day. But he used to have these little lines on sales calls that work so well because he's from Australia, he has this accent. He's like, oh, I couldn't remember that because a kangaroo hit me in the head. Something like that. If it's like a natural thing in sales and it allows them to laugh and lighten up a little bit and feel more social, we're releasing those endorphins, right? In marketing and our personal brand content, have some funny stuff going on. Don't make it weird, but have some funny stuff going on. Release those endorphins, allow people to feel a little bit more social. Internally, best thing is just working out, have a regular workout practice. So, if we're doing that, if we're releasing dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, we are releasing more of love, joy, peace chemicals, and it reduces our cortisol response, our stress response. This is deeply meaningful to me because I've burnt out hardcore 2 times. And I kind of reverse engineered why that actually happened. Part of it's food, part of it's sleep, but a big thing is like what our activities are each day to reduce our cortisol state, alchemize our emotions with dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, to move our brain functioning from the amygdala, the fear portion of our brain, to the prefrontal cortex that regulates our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. Whatever that is for you, what is spirit, what is soul, the more we get out of that cortisol state, more to that love state, that's the more we connect to it, right? Um, yeah, there's all these physiological changes that happen in the brain too. So if we're in a high cortisol state more of the time, we increase synaptic connections in the amygdala, lose them in the hippocampus, responsible for memory, and we decrease connections in the prefrontal cortex. So if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling burnt out, double down on your energy rituals that release dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. To really anchor this home, what I do every single morning, I dose every day, every single morning. So I get up, I do push-ups, 100 push-ups, releasing endorphins. So I feel more social. Then I jump into 10 minutes of breath work, releasing serotonin, feeling more proud and peaceful. Then I do 10 minutes of meditation to reset my dopamine baseline. And then I go straight into gratitudes. So that's a really easy thing to do every single morning to feel more peace and centered and move our brain functioning from the amygdala to the prefrontal cortex. So
Nice. Let's drop one
cool.
thing we're all grateful for in the chat on that note. That's one thing you guys are grateful for. Let's drop that in the chat. 2 for extra credit if you're feeling special. Remote work, coffee and sunshine, ups and downs, juice boxes, grandpa. That's sweet. Time is the one thing we don't get back, right? 2 puppers. Oh shit. What kind of pups do we got, James? He's like schnauzers, miniature schnauzers. What a legend. Being present. We got siblings, great health. You guys feel your energy shifting already? Hand up if you feel that just from even tapping into that, a little shift. Maybe not huge, but small. Connecting to what we can control. Beautiful. Pass it back to Andrew. It's just good to temp check with everyone.
I love it. Thanks for sharing, guys. I'm super grateful to be back in Cabo. I live in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, and I love the place that I have here, and I've been traveling a bunch.
Yeah.
But I got to super grateful. I got to hang out with Mason a couple weeks ago in San Diego. So
And I'm grateful that in a few more weeks, in about 8 weeks, we'll be running an event together in Cabo. So that's exciting as well, just as a side note. So anyone that
yeah,
wants to come out in March, some of these guys will already be there. We're running an event, so that'll be killer. But we'll drop beats for that later. We can get back to the show.
I love it. So you guys want the juice? You know, getting the juice around DM sales. You guys ready for it?
Get juiced.
Felipe, not even cracking a smile. Let's go. There
He's
we
just
go.
here to snap necks, cash
Cool.
checks.
I'm requesting to share my screen.
You've been granted permission.
Sick. So I've helped launch some epic sales training companies and yeah, sales companies in general. If you know Cole Gordon, I helped him launch his initial offer and uh and scale his initial business past $1 million. Dude's a savage, then scaled it past 30 million a year. Bastion Slot runs an eight-figure DM setting company now. He was at about 20K with us per month. And then Eli Wild, most of you guys know Eli Wild, Tony Robbins' #1 salesperson. So I share that to share with you, like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to these DM sales, and you can trust a little bit more. I want to keep it as simple as possible for you guys. And when it comes to DM sales and when it comes to marketing, just remember these three things. For marketing, it's attract, nurture, convert. That's all you need to know and hone in on these things. There's probably a gap in what you're doing. Maybe you have a crap ton of leads coming in because your TikTok jumped off, but you're not nurturing them in a way to actually convert into a sale. Or maybe you aren't doing enough lead gen where it all starts and getting new eyeballs on your stuff, right? Or maybe you've done all this, but you don't have a call to action to actually convert, right? So what is it for you right now? Is it attract? Is it nurture? Is it convert? Like just a really simple framework to think through instead of hard work. What is my bottleneck? Let me double down on that bottleneck so a new one opens up, right? And I get to fix that. So the way I think about it in DM sales, which will be super helpful, and I'll give you some scripts right here on this call, is seed, water, harvest. So a lot of people don't seed the sale enough in DMs to be able to water it and then harvest it. I'll give you an example. What do I mean by seeding a sale? It was about 4 weeks ago. It took about an hour and a half and identified who should come to our event March 20th through 22nd in Cabo. I shot out 50 messages just saying, hey, have you considered coming to our Cabo Mastermind March 20th through 22nd yet? And some people got back to me, some didn't. And then I watered it a little bit because the magic is in the what? It's in the follow-up, it's in the re-engagement, right? And I'll talk a little bit more how to do that. And last week we got 10 ticket sales from those 50 people that we reached out to. We reached out to high quality prospects and we seeded the sale. It didn't happen immediately, but then we watered it and then we harvested it with a call to action, right? That's all you need to think through. And most people aren't seeding the sale enough. So seed more. Um, and then the key to seeding, the first step, you have a list of prospects, and we're going to go over some scripts of seeding with them. The key is volume, just more seeding volume, sending out mass text emails, but also personal ones I'm talking about here, right? So then let's talk about watering. You have conversations going on right now. What's the easiest way to water a conversation? How many of us do we have people in our WhatsApp or in our Go High Level or in our Instagram or our Facebook that just haven't responded, right? Easiest way to hit them back up. If you take anything out of this, take this away, and you can start doing this right now. Send them a GIF, a simple GIF. Make sure it's the right GIF and it's not weird. My favorite GIF is just a SpongeBob thinking GIF. Why? Because we don't want to overwater our plants. How do we kill deals? We send these big block of texts, and then people are like, that person's needy, kills the deal, right? So sending a GIF is one of the easiest ways to re-engage a prospect because the mindset is meh, they're just busy. We don't take it personally, meh, they're just busy. And when we're just sending a GIF, most people are just busy. And they're like, oh yeah, I forgot to respond to James, or oh, I forgot to respond to Swap, right? And then they get back to us. We don't need to overthink it, and we can create more volume that way, right? So if you take anything away from that, send GIFs. The key with watering prospects in conversation, just remember three things: spike emotions, plant beliefs, and get curious. Spike emotions, plant beliefs, get curious. So, what do I mean by spike emotions? Number one is you can send a voice note. Those spike emotions increase intimacy. Number two, you can send a video, testimonial result, something like that, or a video personally of you. If you haven't sent those to your prospects recently, do it. You will get far more responses, right? Number three, opening up a loop. Great way to spike emotion. One of my favorite ones is I have a recommendation if you're open to it. If you just use that one line, you will get into far more prospecting and sales conversations and harvest more. I'll give you an example. Cool, we're talking. Where you at? Where do you want to go? Blah, 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 blah. Cool. I have a recommendation if you're open to it. I'm curious, what is that? Yes, what is it? Um, let's hop. This is a generic framework, but it works really well. Let's hop on a strategy call. I can help you with X, Y, and Z problems, regardless if we work together or not. Should be a super valuable call. If that doesn't sound stupid to you, if you're not opposed to that. Soft, easy transition. How does that work? Number one, ask for permission. Cool, yes. Number two, give them a no-brainer offer, right? And then number three, make the no a yes. What do I mean by make the no a yes? If you wouldn't be opposed to it, right? If that doesn't sound stupid to you, we are much more likely to respond to that rather than saying if you're interested in that.
Yeah.
That sucks. Switch it. Mason, you want to add something there?
So my sales team that I run for Lead Gen J right now, our DM setter uses this, and like 70% of the time when he uses this, it converts to a call. Like it works incredibly well. So we track how many offers he makes, and I define the offer as when he uses those three stages. So he'll ask for permission, they say yes. He pitches them and says, if that doesn't sound crazy, that's considered a call offer made. So we track that and it converts insanely well. So I'm actually just this is a framework. If you use it, like you will get conversions and you will get book calls. I use it to book my own calls as well. Like that was one of the highest leverage single pieces I got from Andrew. And I worked with him last year and closed like 400K, 300K out of his DMs, maybe a little more from following these frameworks, which was insane. So I didn't even know that was possible prior to working with him.
Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah,
Simple, right?
super
Framework's not
simple.
hard. Cool. So we talked a little bit about spiking emotions, planting beliefs. So just write these three things down. Number one, authority statements. People don't know what you do really. They may see some of your marketing, but the more authority statements that you can use in your DM sales, the more people will respond to you and want to work with you. I'll give you an example. Somebody reaches out to me and is like, yo, I want to launch an event or like I want to do something like that. An authority statement would be like, that's awesome. Do you have it on your calendar? That's like a logistics question. It's not the best question. I'll share more. But then the authority statement would be, I did $1.1 million at Trap Buyers Live at a 200-person event when I just cracked seven figures, right? I'm adding more authority to that conversation. It doesn't need to be that crazy or that extreme, but people need to know more about you and your authority in that space, right? Does that make sense?
Totally.
Cool. Another thing, testimonials, whether that's a screenshot testimonial or a video testimonial, send more testimonials and proof in the DMs, even if they don't respond to that, and give them a reason why you're sending it over. Oh, I wanted to shoot this over for some motivation because you really remind me of Mason, this person, right? So that will plant beliefs where they can complete the trust trinity, right? So this comes from Eli Wild and Eli Sanchez. Eli Wild sold over nine figures from Stage, but he talks about the trust trinity concept. For somebody to buy, they need to trust you, they need to trust the offer or the mechanism, and they need to trust themselves, where a lot of people miss the themselves part. What do testimonials do? It allows somebody to trust you, the offer, and when somebody's saying in the testimonial, I was struggling with X, Y, and Z, and then I got out of here, they can trust themselves more, right? So testimonials, plant beliefs, and things like, oh, you really remind me of X, Y, and Z. Or things like sharing a story of like, oh, I remember when I didn't have the time or I didn't have the money and this is what happened, right? And just do cool shit in your own life. I went from $82,000 in student loan debt and had $600 to my name when I got started. I didn't think I'd be at the point where I'm at now, but I just told my brain to shut the fuck up and just do it. And got myself involved in the right communities. And there were ups and downs and there were trials and tribulations, but just have faith and keep going, right? Okay, got a little sidetracked there, but that's plant beliefs. Last thing here with watering. So we talked about spiking emotions, planting beliefs. Number three is get curious. So why do I say that? Curiosity is the energy of creation. Curiosity is the energy of creation. If we want to create a new bond with someone, we need to get more curious. First be interested and then be interesting, right? And I got to go to Milan a few years back, right after reading the biography of Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa. He had these incredible engineering feats. That dude wrote a 500-page essay on why the sky was blue. That guy was curious. No wonder he was so smart, right? Was the killer of judgment? Curiosity. If we're judging other people more, or we're judging ourselves and we have limiting beliefs within ourselves, just tap into curiosity. Oh, I wonder why that's going on there. Oh, that's interesting. Or, oh, I wonder why this person said that. That's interesting. Where are they coming from? The world would be such a better place if people just tapped into curiosity more.
Yeah.
And my life has gotten infinitely times better in terms of me trusting myself when I got getting curious around my emotions instead of judging them. And my relationships have gotten so much better from getting curious around the other person instead of being like, oh, that judgment came up. Oh, how can I get curious around that? Right. So I hope that's helpful on the personal side and business side. So get genuinely curious about the prospect. I want to add one more thing here. Uh, I was blessed in the company that I sold. I had some killer sales reps. One was Marco Cortese. He went on to become the CEO of Seventh Level. He's this German dude with a tongue ring, and you can barely understand what he's saying on sales calls. But he was slinging 30K deals at 72% close rate. And I remember in the first like 2 months or so, I got on a call with him and I'm like, I'm reviewing your sales calls. I have no freaking clue what you're saying. Like, how are you doing this? I'll never forget what he told me. He was like, brother, I love your offer so much, and I fall in love with the prospect before they get on the call. And it just makes perfect sense. Like he's done the work, he's done this, gotten all the training, and the way he gets in state to genuinely get curious on a sales call is he hypnotizes himself to love the offer so much and love the prospect so much, and coming from a place of love instead of fear and judgment. I just thought that was like super fucking cool. Anyhow, so get curious. What do we want to know in DM sales, in sales calls? Where are you at? Where do you want to go? What's getting in the way? How urgent is this for you? Cool. So if you're selling a make money offer, cool. What's your current offer right now? What's it priced at? Cool. A little bit on current situation. Where do you want to be in 3 to 12 months? Cool. You would want to pick one. Where do you want to be in 3 months with that offer? Cool. What would that do for you? Cool. What's stopping you from getting there right now? Cool. how urgent it is for you to get there. Cool. You don't need to go through all of these in DM sales, and you can go through a few of these and just do an outbound dial and have them pick up to increase intimacy, you or setters and that sort of stuff. But the more curious you get around the prospect, the more they'll know that you genuinely care and your company genuinely cares, right? And you're helping create that gap. Does that make sense for watering? Cool. David's loving it. I think the rubbing the face means he's loving it. So
Taking tons of notes.
cool.
If you wonder what I'm typing everything you're saying.
Cool. Good
Can
stuff,
you
man.
repeat the pitch, Andrew, one more time? The way you said it.
Which one?
I have a recommendation, and then if that doesn't sound stupid to you, like the full.
Yeah.
The loop.
It's right here. Permission, no-brainer offer, and then make the no yes. But hey, I have a recommendation if you're open to it. What's that? Yes. Then let's hop on a 30-minute strategy call where I can help you with X, Y, and Z, whatever they brought up, be specific to them. Regardless if we work together or not, planting the sale, right? Regardless if we work together or not, should be a super valuable call. Send. And then number three, if that doesn't sound stupid to you, if you wouldn't be opposed to that, butter every single fucking time, right? So if you're seeding more conversations, if you're sending more gifts, and if you're using this three-stage process, you can't not make more sales, right? Cool. It's all based in psychology and dose, right? Cool. Makes sense, guys? Sweet, sweet, sweet.
Let's go.
Right. Yeah, let's see. We've got 24 minutes. I've got so many frameworks and examples to share with you guys. Cool. We talked about that. Cool. Yeah, what were the main takeaways from that? And then I'm going to give you my one golden nugget to book sales calls today. And then I have a couple other things for you.
Kenna, what's the framework again? I have to take some notes, I think.
What's that?
Yes. Kenna, what's the framework again? You just see it on the screen.
I'll pop that back up. What were
Okay.
some takeaways from that?
The two biggest sentences or communication. The one you just said, let's hop on a strategy call, and then have you considered coming to the event yet?
Yep, huge. Yeah, because when we're saying that second one, hey, have you considered coming to this event yet? Both answers are right. Yes, I have considered it. Cool, let's get in the details. No, I haven't considered it yet. Cool, let me share with you more. So there's no wrong answer to it.
It's not, are you coming to the event? It's have you considered it, which is less defensive.
Exactly. Let's get one more takeaway.
Just the
I like the
power.
planting of the beliefs and making sure that they're believing in themselves and being able to help them get there. And the second thing that was a good takeaway for me was just really getting curious and kind of just mapping out my curiosity conversations into different layers of what's going on with them.
I love it, dude. So good. Great takeaways. Um, and let me give you a piece of gold right here. Um, I think Gore and Dave already know this one, but this is one of my favorite scripts to use and use it today, because it works really well. And if you want to get somebody on a call, on a sale, you're already in a conversation with them, or you had a sales call with them already, it's just this. I have a crazy idea. Do you have 10 minutes? And you can have different variations of that. I have a crazy idea. You have 10 minutes. Why does that work so well? Number one, I have a crazy idea. What are we doing? Spiking emotion and opening up a loop. What is that crazy idea? Right? People drop off because we lose their attention when we lose their emotion. I have a crazy idea, right? Open loop, emotion spike. Do you have 10 minutes? It's a very small ask, a very small harvest. Cool, 10 minutes. What can that crazy idea be? It can be bonusing in a call. It could be bonusing in a new system. It could be bonusing in a course. It could be bonusing in Klarna options or payment plans or something like that. It could be anything, right? And that gives us an opportunity to increase intimacy and figure out where are they at, where do they want to go. It works crazy well. I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars just from this script alone because people will say, yes, I'm free right now. Or sometimes they'll say, no, like I have tomorrow open at like 2 o'clock or something like that. But the response rate is crazy good with this script, just to keep it really simple for you. I'll give you guys an example. Um, met this awesome woman at an event and we were chatting a little bit. Um, and she just joined our program today. And just to see that it works, boom, it was right here. Like not getting a lot of movement or response. I said, you have 5 minutes, got a crazy idea for you, right? We can say it in different ways. Not this, next, this week is better, today or Wednesday. Cool, got this time open or this time open. When you're booking in the call, always give 2 times, not just one. Which works better for you? Cool, booked in, have my VA send over the invite, and then sent some pre call material, hopped on the call. She ended up joining, got her the onboarding form right here, right? It all just started from this, right? I have a crazy idea. Do you have 10 minutes? You have 5 minutes? Got a crazy event stuff for you to share with her because she launches events and all that stuff. So cool. Helpful? Makes sense?
Yep. I'll
Sweet.
I'll add to that. A lot of my reps ask, "Well, what's the crazy idea?" I'm like, "It doesn't matter. Like, just send the damn message and then figure it out after." Like, sometimes people get in their head about using that line or things like that. Like, that's where you just got to trust yourself to get creative and the point is to get the response and then pivot and figure out what's going to make sense. But like first we just got to pique curiosity. Like you might want to have two or three that you usually use, but don't let that get in the way of you actually using the tool. So that's one of the things I've seen for some of my students.
Mhm.
What if they ask the question, like, what's the crazy idea in the DMs before you get them on the call?
Just call them. Yeah. Yeah, just giving you a ring now.
Yeah, there was one I did recently. I sold an event ticket and he asked me what's a crazy idea, and I was like, I can't tell you until you talk to your wife. Because he was mentioning like he needs to talk to his wife first before he can come to the event. So you can be silly, be cheeky, be yourself is the biggest thing in your marketing and in your sales. Own that shit. Make sure you're not being your inauthentic self. There's stuff that comes from intuition, there's stuff that comes from insecurity. But the more you can come from intuition, your true self, people buy into that shit. It's great and it differentiates you. So you can be cheeky, you can be silly. Don't let it come from insecurity and come off weird. But the more you come from authenticity, that's the highest vibration we can be in. So,
And
yeah.
Tyler takes a good amount of inbound calls, so you probably wouldn't use it for someone who booked an inbound call because they already went through a funnel. Like it would be kind of out of context. This is more of like either a follow-up and you want to re-engage a follow-up. Hey man, was just thinking of you, got a crazy idea, like dot dot dot. You got 5 minutes? Easy way to get them to respond and then do a quick outbound dial and, invite them to one of our upcoming workshops or give them a free bonus, just anything to get the dialogue re-engaged. Like you can come up with what are your crazy ideas, but it would be for you most likely after the sales call, or if you're going into Jay's school group and hunting for leads and you're DMing back and forth with someone and then you just want to move them to a call quickly. That's another way to transition to a call.
Yeah.
Sounds
And we have limited time on this call, and I have a few more pieces of gold for you. But I just dropped our school community in the chat with our DM course and scripts in there as well. That's totally free. You can hop in through there and see what we're doing in the DMs. And just go to Classroom and go to the Blueprint course, and we have the whole sales script and everything, and a lot more inside of there. Um, I just put that in the Zoom chat. But um, another thing that I want to mention is how it starts is usually how it finishes. So uh, how many of you guys have gotten into too much of a buddy conversation with a prospect and then it's really hard to lead them? I think all hands should be up there. We've all been buddy sometimes. One of the easiest scripts when somebody comes to your Instagram or somebody comes to your school community, or somebody opts in through something through Go High Level and you have a text, just this. Are you here for the free content or are you actively looking to get X, Y, and Z result? Are you just here for the free content or are you actively looking to grow your business? Are you just here for the free content or are you actively looking to improve your health? Use that. You'll seed that sale so much better. And you get people to self opt into a prospecting conversation, right? So I'm looking to actively grow my business. Awesome. Mind if I ask you a few questions? No, no problem. Cool. We're in a prospecting conversation. Then I can bake in authority statements. I can bake in different trainings, that sort of stuff, right? So this is all manual DM stuff that we're talking about, which is the fucking best. When you nail this down, you'll always know how to lead people to a sales call or a sale in the DMs, right? But there are also some automations to think about. So you can automate text flow through Go High Level, and I just mentioned one initial script. If you guys join the school community, you'll get an automated text with exactly that, right? ManyChat is phenomenal, and it's really good for two-step posts. What do I mean by two-step posts? You have a call to action on a social media content. It automatically sends it over. Here's the free resource. By the way, are you actively looking to scale your business or is it just free content you're looking for? Um, and we have a sponsor at our event, our mastermind in March called Charlie AI that we're testing out right now. That's a good one to look into with some automated things and services. So, and then you scale what you're doing up, and then you can add a team underneath it for leverage. Um, when you're running your own business, you think, what can I delete? What can I delegate? What can I automate to remove myself from the value chain? That's why I was able to sell my business back in the day. I was out of the value chain. How to automate that is through AI nowadays, Zapier automations, that sort of stuff. And then what can I not automate and delegate to a team member while I'm still profiting heavily in my business, right? But the biggest question is, what do you guys need to delete in your life and your business that's not moving the needle forward, right? If I'm saying yes to this, what am I saying no to? Is a great question, great principle to look by.
Mm.
And that's why I'm so grateful that you guys are on this call today with me because you didn't have to say yes and show up on this call. And we only have limited time, energy, attention, resources, and you decided to be here on this call and make the most out of it. And so many faces on this call. So I want to leave you guys with those little pieces of gold with the time that we have left and leave it up for Q&A. In any way that I can serve, any way that I can help, I'm here for it.
Cool. We
Yep.
can go a couple minutes over the top of the hour as well. I just pushed my meeting back 5, 10 minutes as well. So we got some time for Q&A. Anything that you guys got around DMs, closing deals, if you guys want to pull up some deals specifically, maybe get some feedback, we can take a look at it for sure.
I can jump in.
Please.
Yeah.
I just jump in here to see your pretty faces, but I a question came up right now actually.
Hmm.
So I've been doing DMs for a few years, but my problem has been volume and like literally, being able to create more volume.
Hmm.
Um, and I wonder what suggestions you have beyond that automations and no, I have an appointment setter right now, but he's doing more calling than DMing.
Hmm.
So I could think of like adding a DM setter.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know if you have any recommendations for increasing volume and also like what kind of numbers do you think make sense for different stages of scaling up?
Yeah, this is a perfect question. So I'm going to answer it in a framework way first and then something more tactical. So I think it will be valuable for everyone. There are different things to focus on at different levels in business, especially I specialize with coaches and agencies, so I know that industry really well. And this is what we focus on. So, like 0 to 10K, if you guys are there or you're in a business at 0 to 10K, we consider that artist phase. Main thing is just solidify the high ticket offer and sell the shit out of it and like just launch the beta and then you can productize it and all that stuff. The key is to not focus on like operational stuff or a website. It's just revenue generating activities. That's all that matters. The best messaging that you'll get are people that like vote with their credit card, right? So that's artist phase. You're out of artist phase. So 10 to 50K is builder phase. Key there is to have one, maybe two towards the end, really good setters that can book in calls. Sometimes it's a setter closer because we're not going to be able to get the best salesperson from 10K to 50K. But if they can do a little bit of both, that's perfect. And just volume of book calls for that high ticket offer. The other thing that's working really freaking well, if you're not doing it, is paid sales calls. So everybody's going the low ticket route to get a little taste of what you're doing. If you're an agency or if you're a coach or a hybrid model of both of them, having a low ticket offer so they can get a taste that goes straight to a sales call after it. This can be a mini course. This can be a PDF guide. This can be a system. We do a 7-day trial. It's called the seven figure CEO Accelerator for 7 days. Literally, people get full access of our content, of our strategies. Literally, if they just go in and take the thing that they need around DM sales or marketing or that sort of thing, then they get a result. Or sometimes they don't, and then they're like, I want to stay in here. And we have a sales call booked on the back end of that. So that's what's working really well because people are getting fucking tired of strategy calls. So that's one thing to think about as well. Um, and you want to do the sales like at least to 40K per month, and then you can get a salesperson. But the easiest point of leverage when you're above 50K per month is get your salesperson in place. And then you're not drained on sales calls all the time, and you're using a bit of leverage to scale. So I hired Grant Ellertson, and he helped me scale from 50K to 100K per month back in the day, initially. And that was just from one good sales rep. So systemizer phase is 50K to 100K. The key there is to have one great brain on your team that you can delegate thinking to. My key brain was Avery Ford, who took over fulfillment for me. We were getting too many clients. He needed to solidify it for me. And I was able to remove myself from that piece of the value chain and free up a lot of my time, energy, and attention. Right. And then 100K to 300K, two brains on the team. Around 300K, you're building out middle management, but you're profiting $1 million per year, which is great, right? So that's kind of how I break down the systems and the frameworks and what to focus on at each stage. Um, in terms of volume and setters, so what's working really well nowadays is twofold. So, number one, a conversion asset. That's a low ticket conversion asset that goes to a book call. Why does that work so well? Because show up rates are much, much higher and the buy-in rate is much higher. There are no tire kickers. Show up rates like of just a strategy call are like 50, 60% if we're lucky. If it's a paid asset that they're opting into, they're around like 85, 90%. And conversion rates are about 15% higher as well. In terms of traffic, I'd need to know more about your offer, but IGDM ads are working great on the paid ads side. That's where I would start. Video sales letters are very hard to crack. The two ads that we recommend are DM ads to IG or DM ad, or not DM ads, school ads going to a community funnel. Community funnels are still the easiest way to scale past 100K per month in your marketing because your messaging does not need to be dialed in, right? Um, in terms of the volume that the setter needs, around 150, 200 new leads per month is what I would recommend. Um, Outbound dials are working great if you have valid phone numbers. But it's also the structure of the marketing going from new opt-in to actually generating that new like sales conversation. We went over some scripts here and everything like that. Typical pay for a setter nowadays in this industry is $1,500 base. I don't recommend a VA from the Philippines. They will screw up far more deals than they're worth. Getting a English speaking setter is the most important thing if you're selling in the US or Canada or Europe. $1,500 base plus 5 to 7.5 of commissions. It's a little bit more based on cash collected. But the main thing is the on-track earnings. So setters are looking for anywhere between 6 and 8K and ramping up to that point over over 90 days. So those are the kind of quick cliff notes from what I've seen in the industry.
Love that. Great stuff. Thank you.
Cool. Sweet. Great question. Gort?
My question is not so much related to DM sales. It's more of a sales question about a prospect. I don't know if that's relevant, or if I should save that for another call.
Maybe.
Uh,
Ask.
well, I've just been frustrated with the prospect who I have a call with in about an hour, and his thing is he was in my like one-on-one coaching, and I was trying to upsell continuity, and he just started giving excuse after excuse of like ethos philosophy now versus later, more in person versus remote, and I just kept overcoming those excuses, and he just didn't seem committed, and I found myself super invested in this at that point. It kind of got me like really invested in that conversation. I found myself going into selling rather than like being the one to invite him to that, you know. So I feel
Yeah.
like I had the perspective of him like he wants to do this, and now I got too attached to that outcome,
Yeah.
and started coming up with deals for him
Yeah.
to buy into. So I wasn't sure
Yeah.
how to navigate
There
that.
are there are three things here. Number one is a principle. Oftentimes, it's like the frames and the principles and the things that we're thinking through that alchemizes our emotions, and we come from a more genuine place and get more sales.
Mhm.
So, number one is speak to the unspoken. That's one of my principles in relationships and inside of sales. Something's going on there. So it's like, hey, brother, do you mind if I challenge you on this for a second? Cool. You can go into yes, permission, go into a challenging conversation. Or another great script from Brene Brown that I use more in relationships than I use in sales is the story going on in my head is instead of attacking the person, it's the story in your head. So that leaves space for that. And you can start communicating those things, right?
Mhm.
So speak to the unspoken. There's something there that needs to be communicated on both ends. Open up that possibility with asking for permission, right? Number two is we can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and we can't say the wrong thing to the right person. The more we step into that, the more people and more clients come into our life that are right for us in terms of intimate relationships, personal relationships, friendships, and business relationships. So if he's being counterterred, we can only do so much. We can do the best in our own ability to communicate and open up those possibilities to have challenging conversations and connect, but also can't say the right thing to the wrong person, can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and that's okay, right? And then number three is just having firm boundaries of what you will and what you won't accept, and coming from a place of love of communicating those boundaries instead of a place of insecurity and lack. So it's easier to say, it's harder to do in practice. But if you can just remember that of like, okay, these are my boundaries, this is what I'm worth, and communicate those from a place of love instead of lack, the more that energy will come across to the prospect or the relationship. So
Yeah, that's solid.
Follow up on that when you communicate boundaries, and then or when you're coming from love and you're like, all right, I'll do that for you, then and then they start being like, okay, well, can you do this other thing too? And they keep they go in that direction at that point, have you lost that frame, or is it something where you should just be like you're pushing it?
I usually do tit for tat. So if I'm like, I'll do this for you, you do this for
For me,
me,
reciprocity.
yeah, exactly, in a different like communicated. I'm trying to
Right.
think of an example.
If I
Uh,
were able, if I would you is like the classic. So like if I were able to help you with that, would you be ready to get rocking and rolling? So you're not just like giving something for nothing and now they're like, yeah, I can just take shit from you. And you're setting up a
yeah.
dynamic where they can just rip as much value out of you as possible without any consequence.
Got it.
I
Um,
have I have time to take a few more questions, but I just want to recap with you guys real quickly because this will help you solidify it. We talked about the dose framework right off the bat, the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins dose every day, and we can also direct people's minds through questions and through stories. We also talked about the attract, nurture, convert. What is our bottleneck? But also in DM sales, seed, water, harvest framework. We went over some simple scripts that you guys can use, such as I have a crazy idea. I have a crazy idea. Do you have 10 minutes? And also sending over memes and GIFs and seeding more, right? And then we went over some really good questions with Felipe and Gore here, and I think we have one from Miriam. Is it cool if I send you guys over this link because Mason's going to be at the mastermind in March? And I just want you guys to know about it. If this spoke to you and you like the energy of this room and you don't hate my face or Mason's face and would like to join us for 3 days with some high-level entrepreneurs and sales professionals, is that cool if I share the link down below there?
that's
Cool.
cool.
So events. I've also given, if this speaks to you, I've also given Mason some codes for people specifically for his community to get special tickets. So if you are interested in that, hit Mason up. And he has some discount codes there. I think it brings it down to like $1,500, something like that. So we have 32 spots taken out of 50. And we have a bunch of eight-figure earners coming. Jay Feldman, Alaric Heck, Jess Lenoble, and it just really helps you level up. So if you feel like you want to shake up that snow globe right now, it's a great opportunity to spend it in the sunshine and with whales and with some really awesome people, March 20th through 22nd. So cool. I'll
Nice.
drop that in there for you.
That's
Cool.
going to be a ton of fun. And then Miriam will do a question on that. And I'll drop the info in the school as well for the Cabo event. Really, anyone who wants to grow, scale their business, or even if you're a rep and you're looking for a better offer, one of the biggest hacks is just the way to differentiate yourself is to not just be in people's DMs, it's to be out in the world and actually meet high quality people and build relationships for the long term. Like as a rep over the years, I've never gone through one formal interview process. I worked at seventh level. I run Jay Feldman's sales team. I worked with Andrew. I've never gone through any formal interview process because my relationships were so strong. I bypassed every single interview pipeline and went straight to the source every time. So that is a hack is in-person events. Whether it's this one or another one, 10 out of 10 recommend if you're a rep as well. Um, but yeah, Miriam.
Cool.
Love it.
Hey, Andrew, thanks for everything. It's been great.
Okay.
Um, so a little bit of more of a unique situation about the DM setting. So my background, I'm coming from like running a business in high ticket sales, selling my own offer to
Mhm.
entering the high ticket space.
Mhm.
So I've been looking at different DM setting positions and like learning how to vet offers, and I have a
Mhm.
couple on the table, but I think
Mhm.
I'm learning you're very much at the mercy of like your offer, the systems and revenue. So in hindsight, looking back at your journey when you first like came into the DM setting, what would you say that translated into like early success and like, growing faster? And I can give you numbers between offers or whatever just to give it a range, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm wondering.
Cool. So is it more of a question deciding between offers you can get on right now or how to crush it once you get on that offer?
I think it's a mix of both because the revenue and pay structures are very different. And then leading
Mhm.
into like, how are you going to know you're going to crush it paired with like the sales team and training? Because
Yeah.
I came from selling, but I've never done the DM setting. So I could
Mhm.
start as a closer, but I don't have formal experience in the grind in this, like, I guess, industry. So Yeah.
Cool. I love it. Great question. And with most of my answers, I'd like to give the frameworks and the questions to ask yourself. So in the
Mhm.
future, you can break the mold and like take that and apply it to any situation. So one book that I highly recommend everybody read here is The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham. And really good question, just to put some thinking time on, is what's the upside? What's the downside? Can I live with the downside? Right?
Mhm.
So for the offer that I would pick is the one with the biggest upside and the one that you can live with the downside. So um, that's how I make most of my decisions when I'm opting between different things. In
Okay.
terms of the space specifically,
Mhm.
the big thing is like actually ask for their numbers. I'm
Mhm.
so impressed over the past like 4 years how that's changed in the hiring context. Now everybody that I get on a call with to hire them as a salesperson, they pretty much all of them ask for the numbers in the business and show me that
Mhm.
shit. I'm like, fuck yeah, boundaries. That's great.
Yeah.
So that's huge for those businesses.
Yeah.
And which one are you the most fucking lit up by? There's a money component, but then there's also the energy component, right?
Well, so ironically, the one I'm most convicted in is actually helping veterans because I love the concept of helping a veteran, but their base is like 500 plus like I think it's 3 or 5% commission is really low, whereas they're looking at scaling, they're at like 450K a month, whereas the other offers I'm looking at are at like a mil a month and like they have better structure pay and they've been running since like 1990. So it's like early offer, good potential, more conviction versus like uh the system and the revenue, basically the volume. So yeah.
Yeah. So the question of what's the upside, what's the downside is going to be
Hmm.
super important for you. And can I live
Yeah.
with the downside? And make sure it's not a churn and burn operation as well, where they hire a fuck ton of sales reps and then they just burn out or they just like kick them
Hmm.
to the curb. And that's a main thing. So
Hmm.
do your sorting there. Um,
Yeah. Would you stay away from early offers because this one, like they're just in the growth phase, they only have like two setters right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Two, yeah.
Depends
Um,
on your like also your own financial situation, what the averages of people
Yeah.
there are earning. It's kind of like
Well, they want females because they
they all
produce
do.
better on the phone with these type of people. So I'm like, oh, it could be great because I could have extremely high volume. But yeah,
yeah.
so I guess
And
that's
sometimes
helpful.
that can be better, and um, especially if you're super convicted in an offer, you'll probably stay on it longer and help the
Hmm.
business grow. So
Hmm.
it's kind of a catch 22. Sometimes you get different advice with that. But
Okay.
once you go in on an offer, I recommend
Hmm.
all of you guys just like dose yourself in all the video testimonials and all the results to build up that conviction on that offer because
Hmm.
that energy will infiltrate into all of your
Hmm.
conversations. So
Yeah,
when you're going to sleep, turn on some video testimonials or some audio testimonials, listen to that stuff, watch that
for
stuff,
sure.
and come from a place of conviction. And
Yeah.
then grind it out for 90 days, fully just fucking commit for 90 days. Doesn't need
Okay.
to be a lifetime, just 90 days. I'm gonna go all in and fucking crush it on this offer.
Hmm.
Um, so those would be my pieces of advice there for you, Miriam.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you have a sales coach or a community you're already in that you invested in?
Yeah, I'm in cereal sales with Dylan.
Okay, I haven't heard of that one yet, so it's just cool that
Okay.
somehow they all interconnected.
It's how I
Uh,
connected to you, actually. A bunch of people in that community like mentioned you, so it's cool. Yeah.
yeah, it's been humbling. I just started this thing like 2 months ago, so it's cool to see people coming
Wow.
to it. So,
That's awesome.
um,
Cool.
yeah, if you didn't have someone already, I had a recommendation, but I have a
Okay.
recommendation if you're open for it. I'm just kidding.
Hmm.
Not going to pitch you right here, but I do have some thoughts. I think connecting to Andres Mego would be good. He has a group of all women closers basically as well, and that's been
Okay, cool.
really good. He's like my best friend. He's in Colombia.
Oh,
So if
nice.
you're looking to land roles, that's also a really good community to get tapped into.
Yeah. Well, how do you spell the name? Andres?
Just shoot me a message in school, and
Cool.
I'll help you with it.
Thanks for saying that.
Um,
Cool.
but I do have to jump. Closest hotel is Sunrock. Hotels are good. Um, that event is killer. It's really, really good vibes, good people. 10 out of 10. Recommend, unless you hate tacos and cheap massages and hanging out on the beach with people who are going to help you make more money.
Horrible.
Uh, Well, Andrew, thanks for coming in and putting this on and bringing the dose, the questions, the scripts, the frameworks, and your dedication and effort over the years to make this digestible so people can actually learn and integrate it. I appreciate that a ton.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah,
And Swap Josiah Gore, Miriam, James, and Johan. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. Tyler, I see you. And thank you guys so much for having me. And would love to see you guys at the event and hang out in person and close some freaking deals there. So,
nice.
Good.
yeah,
We'll drop a post, Andrew. If you could drop a post in the community with any resources and links back to your community, that would be great.
absolutely. Sweet.
Awesome,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
All right. See
Awesome.
ya.
Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.